All right, let's go over to the meat and potatoes of the show today. Black Fist. Black
Okay.
Fist is very direct, and I fucking appreciate that so much. Um, can you tell the audience about this series?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start about like what it's about though. So this first arc that's going to be from issue 1 through 10. It's about Earth's first superhero that unfortunately piques the interest of a KKK Grand Wizard that fears that he's a danger to the world and to his community. Some unfortunate events do take place to where that Grand Wizard is unfortunately granted an ability to rival the power of the Black Fist, and is able to share those abilities and powers with the rest of his clan, causing an absolute catastrophic event within America. But we start the series within the 1950s, where Isaac is a foster child that unfortunately faces racial discrimination for the first time. That unveils an astonishing revelation about himself that changes the whole trajectory of his life, family, and enemies. And then eventually it flows within the 1960s, 1968 to be exact. So just a few years after segregation was
Mm.
abolished. That's like a quick, like little rundown.
Now, did you pull the scenarios from your mind? Did you get any of the scenarios in this book from stories that you were told? How did you? Because this, like I said, this gets very on point with what more than likely happened during those times.
Yeah. So essentially, I got bored at work.
Not.
got, I got bored at work, and I was working on Battle Chief, but I was like, I really want to add another character, uh, because I love Man of Steel, and it kind of did
Mm.
in my childhood as well. So like me and my little brother, we used to pretend like we were Super Isaac and Super JJ as a kid, and pretty much uh, my brother would have these vivid dreams that would happen in episodes, and he would write these dreams down. And so years later, he still as an adult, he's still having these dreams. And I decided to adapt some of his lore and add it to my universe, but create a story and create a character behind these powers and things like that, if that makes sense. And I decided to use my dad with also being inspired by Man of Steel
Mm.
uh, and things like that, though. But yeah, there's some, so like a lot of the lore is like a combination of my lore and my brother's lore when it comes to the realm of the Black Fist, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, that is inspiring. Honestly, for me, this is something that I've been wanting to see in my comics for a long time. It's like you were saying, or I want to use the word polished. It feels like it's a lot more polished than some of the other comics that I've seen try to approach
yeah,
this type of topic in the
yeah.
past, where we the black character overcomes. It's not there's not really too much tongue in cheek when it comes from the protagonist itself. Yeah, there might be a few characters that make light of particular situations, but when you get into the details of it, the
Yeah.
specifics of it, is we're pulling no punches, no pun intended.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I love the directness, and like I was like, you know what? Let me put the setting into the 1960s, because I was like, I love Man of Steel, but like let me do something a little different. And like essentially the idea is like, what if Lex Luthor was racist as hell and his Superman was black, kind of thing.
mhm.
Essentially, he kind of is racist. If that, Lex Luthor's already technically kind of racist though, but because he doesn't like aliens. But
I mean, no, because I mean, if you want to be correct about it, it's the human
yeah,
race versus an alien race. So yeah,
yeah,
no, Alexis type is racist.
yeah,
It is. It is what it is. Luckily, Superman skin is not melanated. Otherwise, I don't know how far this comic would have gotten out of the, what is it, the 1950s was the first
Yeah.
Superman comic. I think it was the
Might
first
have been the
Superman.
1940s. I could be wrong though. It might
I'm,
be
I'm
earlier than that.
I want to say that something's telling me to say the 20s or the 30s, but that feels like that's way too early.
Yeah.
In any event, we all know how certain people feel about things when you bring race into the forte, which you've had a lot of experience with based on your Instagram posts. You know
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about. If anybody wants to understand what I am talking about, please head on over to Battle Cheat Comics Instagram. He's very specific and pointed when he's talking to the people that don't necessarily like the topic and tone of this particular comic. I love it. I don't know what their problem is. I couldn't begin to tell you what they would be so upset about in this particular comic that's dealing with racism. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And having the black person win. I love to see it. Let me see. Let me go back to Breakfast. There we go. So you are. Oh my God, wait. I'm just looking at this first page. I didn't realize that Mom Dukes had a whole fucking strap. She had a whole strap
She had the
in
whole
her
belt. She
pants.
was ready. Yeah.
This all right. So Isaac and Jeremiah's mom absolutely reminds me of Black Mom. Like what type of fuck shit you about to be on? I'm not in the mood. Don't fuck with me. I'm gonna protect my home and I'm gonna keep my shit in order. That is what stuck out for me. And then the loving side as well. She loves as fiercely, clearly, as she does to protect her home, her family, and her way of life. Especially in the 1950s, it feels like that's something that you really need to put your foot down on back then. Can you talk to me about Mom? I guess. Do we have? Wait, let me go back. I forgot what her name is. I am so sorry. Charmaine. I'm so sorry.
Charmaine.
Yes. Who who inspired you to create Charmaine?
Oh, okay, so it's actually this. What's her name? I forgot her name, and it's going to like make me mad. I know Larry. You know who Country Wayne is? You ever heard of Country Wayne?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so Larry was inspired by Country Wayne. Country Wayne has done videos with her. Was it Diana? I forgot her name. She's like a black woman with short hair. She makes like skits and like these funny videos. But both like Country Wayne and her was like the biggest inspiration whenever it came to creating them, which I also kind of based their looks off of them, just because like I enjoy like watching their content. Their content would just like make me laugh.
You know what? I got the same brain fart that you do. Now I got to look it up.
Yeah.
But I know exactly who you're talking about, and no, that's spot on. What I know that you started off with issue 1. What made you decide to go back and create this issue? Because this is a prequel, right?
Yeah, so I actually started off. I wrote the prequel before I wrote issue number 1. Yeah, because so like essentially, so whenever I wrote the Black Fist, I wrote it as a screenplay. You know what I mean? And so, Black Fist Beginnings, which I will say, sometime down the line, it is going to get redone by the current artist of the Black Fist. But like, I started off with Black Fist Beginnings, first, just because like that's just how it kind of starts. But in the newer version, it's going to be the same, but I'm going to add something that you're going to see within issue number 4 anyways, though, but to kind of make things make a bit more sense. But issue number 4 kind of explains that. I don't want to spoil that yet.
No, don't do it.
Yeah.
This was the page that made me go, okay, this is based in reality. Like, this isn't somebody white writing for black characters. This is what happens with kids of any race. You understand what I mean? Like it's not something that needs to be more digestible to any readers. You are your brother's keeper. You about to do some fuck shit that you ain't supposed to do, and now your little brother is like, but mommy said, no, 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 mommy, what you gonna do? What you
Yeah.
gonna do? And then your brother does something that he's not supposed to, thoroughly not supposed to do. So
Yeah.
you got him checkmate. That I loved this scene here. Oh, brother, of course, in the midst of them just trying to be normal kids, crossing railroad tracks when their mama told them not to cross the goddamn railroad tracks.
Yeah.
Then you have the disruption of peace.
Yeah.
Even though they're in the middle of doing some shit they're not supposed to do. This chapped my ass. Something fierce. Especially after watching Peacemaker. It brought back like watching Peacemaker, seeing this and then watching Peacemaker. This made me visualize it within that show. Like this, it makes me feel like I don't know where. I know you didn't see the episode. I'm trying not to spoil it. This made me feel like this could be a part of that episode. Yeah, these little kids is on some fuck shit. Where are their parents? Where's everybody's parents? Like I know where Jeremiah and Isaac's parents are. However, where are your mommy and daddy? Why are y'all going in the complete opposite direction of where you need to be going clearly, which is to school? These two getting into a fight. Isaac, for sure, about to get into some shit, and then, the realization, the fuck around and find out portion happens very soon for these kids. Let me see if I didn't mess up at all. Okay, good. Action Comics. Everybody's talking about the Superman things. Yes, 1938 was Superman's first appearance. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need you out there in the comments because I can only touch but so many things at a time and multitask. I appreciate you. And the redheaded boy does look like Archie. Is that did you draw anything from or getting inspiration from any other comics or
No, for those kids, it's kind of funny. I actually didn't really give like a reference for those kids to the artist. I kind of just explained it to them, and I was like, you can get creative. And I honestly, I think it came out fucking hilarious. Like, you know what I mean? Because like I don't know, like K-Ro, he's the current artist with Battle Chi. Like K-Ro's a dog, so it's just like he. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain though, but like he kind of just like this is how I imagine it. So I just told him just 3 bullies. You know what I mean? And he kind of he did it right. Like you know what I mean? Like 3 white kids that are bullies, and you got like the tall skinny guy, you got the short stubby ginger, and then you got obviously there was gonna be a little kid which is Blake, which Blake is actually a huge part of the story. Blake, which is Randy's son. He's like a huge character and a very prominent character within the Blackface. Very important. So it gets a little crazy.
I'm gonna get the rest of these issues. This book is really fucking good, dude. Yeah. It's really good. Shout out to your artist too. This shit is clean, my guy. Yeah. It's really clean. I find that a lot of people or whenever the writers of the comics find their artists, it's gold. Whenever y'all find each other out in the world and y'all come together and it's a like-mindedness, like you don't even have to talk.
Yeah.
y'all make gold. How'd you find this artist?
So I found Cairo over Facebook groups.
Uh, Not Facebook.
I mean, yeah, there's you can find artists like there's like groups where you find like if you're looking for an artist, I kind of just search for like like artists like looking for commissions, and I'll join these groups, and I posted like an example of like what I'm looking for. Okay, and I got a lot of submissions. Like I got like a lot of submissions, and Kara came up, and I was like, I want you, and so like, yeah, we started working, and that was like back in 2019, 2018. So
What did you? How do you put out feelers for that? Like, what's your criteria when you're looking for an artist to work with? Like, what do you have to give people in order to get close to what you're looking for?
Money. But essentially, like I kind of just like I look through like specific things and the way characters look in their designs. And I'm like, I think I could work with this. And although like Hero did an amazing job on Black Fist Beginnings, I decided to make some swaps. So I have another series known as Shockster, which I'm refurbishing at the moment before I put it back up on the market. So I got bored one day. Me and my friends are on a call. My friend Josh, aka Cabal, one of my best friends, and he's the co-owner of the company. Pretty much, he came up with this character back when he was in middle school, and it was called Shockster. And I was like, Josh, like, do you have like a random idea that I can just like put together and kind of like put my own spin on it? And I just want to see how fast I can write an issue. I can write a script, find an artist, and get it done. And I did all of that. So I wrote the very first draft, which I did make changes way later on Shockster. But I wrote the first draft. I found an artist. I found the dude named Ricardo, which is the current artist of the Black Fist now, from issue number 1 to 3 and moving forward. I met Ricardo, and Ricardo killed Shockster. He killed it. I was like, damn. I was like, dude, this is crazy. This is crazy. So he did something in issue number 2 of Shockster that made me swap artists around, and I think it was the best decision. K-Ro's a really good artist, but K-Ro is doing really well in Battle Cheat, in my personal opinion. I feel like that's more of his jam.
Please tell him that he's keep doing what he's doing. It's really good. What it reminds me of? It reminds me of Archer. A little bit of that art style. If you ever watch that animated show.
No, I don't think I've seen it. No.
Dude, you gotta watch. I think you'd enjoy it. But did I ask you to talk about? Yes, I did. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I was going to say, did I ask you to go over the details of Black Fist? Yes, 100%. That's how we started. That's how we got here. Apologies. I just want to make sure because the story is really, really good. Is there a particular moment in this first issue that you really enjoy?
I definitely I love it whenever we meet the main villain for the very first time. Like, you know what I mean? And this is not everyone recognizes this though, but yeah, you meet the main villain of the first arc within this issue right there.
Yep.
Mr. Officer Randy Sanders. You know what I mean? You might not think he's going to be the main villain, but I mean, essentially, yeah, he is. So you get to meet him for the very first time, and you kind of get to see a bit of his development throughout the series and how he gets to the point where he becomes someone much worse, which is kind of crazy because everything that's happening in the world. When I wrote the first draft of this, January 6th happened, and there's something that happened within issue number 3 that is kind of similar to January 6th on a scale that I hope that God would never happen. But
brother.
But
bro, listen, look, I think your comic is right on time. Right on time.
I wish it wasn't, to be honest with you. I'll be real.
Dude.
kind of wish it wasn't because it's just I don't know all this everything going. You feel me though, right?
Like 1,000% I'm like,
Yeah.
wait. Part of me is like, could you stop writing for like? Stop writing for like a year. Like, I need a break. I need a little bit of time off. But this is definitely needed because it does inspire a lot of, at least in me, a lot of don't take that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need that right now. I think people, personally, I find people are a little bit too leaning back away from what is going on, and I get it, but I think there's going to be a time where we definitely have to put our foot down. Maybe not necessarily pick up a bottle, though I encourage it. But definitely want to get people into that mindset of you have to find a line. You got to find a line. You got to stand on business. And this comic does that for me. So thank you very much for writing it. Is there anything else that you want to tell the folks out there? Anything that you're working on currently? Or to look forward to, or due dates, or release dates for any of your next issues?
I can't give any release dates, mainly just because as an indie creator, it's really hard to give like release dates. But I can say that like we're working on issue number 4 right now. Issue number 2 and 3 is out, but everything is practically sold out at the moment.
It is.
Which is a good thing. It's not a bad
thing. It
is. So, I got Battle Chi issue number 1 being worked on. As soon as we finish up issue number 1 of Battle Chi, we'll start working on the second chapter. And issue number 4 and 5, like 5 is episode 4. I will say issue number 4 is a huge lore drop. You get a better understanding of where like Isaac comes from, why things are like happening the way they are, and you get a bit more of like background of like. You also get to see a new ability that I kind of show you. I don't exactly tell you just yet, but you will get more confirmation with issue number 5. But because of this ability, you get to see like a lot of like the lore behind the Blackface, where he comes from, like just everything. And it's nothing like when it comes to his abilities and how he got those abilities and all that. It's not like a Krypton story. I will say that it's not like Krypton. It's not no Viltrumite or anything like that. It's
no conquest.
It's a concept that hasn't really ever been done before. So that's all I'm gonna say. It's very, very, very different. And I think people are really gonna like it. I have done it like on TikTok. Like I've talked about the lore, and people were like, "Holy shit!" But like, I kind of did it, just because. I'll tell you guys a little bit about. I did this in the past. I don't think anybody remembers anymore. But yeah, it's different. It's way different. Issue number 4 is gonna be insane. I think it's gonna be great. So.
Okay. I was already invested, but now I'm extra fucking curious about what's going to happen next.
Super invested.
Oh yeah, and then issue number 5. Issue number 5 is great just because I'm not going to spoil anything though, but I would say that issue number 5 is like, you're focused on, or is it issue number 5? It might actually be in issue number 4. I kind of wrote issue number 4 a little weird. Like I have it in pieces for the artist. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to remember, is this in issue number 5? Or am I tripping? Okay, I'll take that back. I'm sorry. No, okay, I remember. So yeah, issue number 4, there's something that like, you get to focus on Isaac, but you also get to focus on Randy, and just seeing how Randy has changed after something, after this thing that's happened to him. I can't spoil it. It gets crazy. It's
Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah,
I know, because I know part of you was like, I really want to tell y'all what's going on, but I also gotta keep quiet. All right, let me definitely keep us in the loop.
Yes.
Please let me know when you're gonna have your next issues out, so I can help promote. By all means. Also, one last thing before you go, I heard that you are a part of Blerds Station now. Is that true?